Aloha everybody, welcome once again to Isolation Libations. I'm Joey Joyce, I'm your bartender. This is episode number 67. Happy Saturday, happy 4th of July. How about that? We're here making a drink for the 4th of July on a Saturday. Now I know it's going to be a little bit confusing because I usually do the cocktails weeknights to pair along with Brian Chartrand's music, who does his happy half hour every weeknight at 5 o'clock West Coast time on facebook.com/Brian Chartrand Music. Now, while I was out traveling around, I kind of got a little behind. So Brian's up at number 73, and I'm only at 67, so I got to catch up. So while Brian is probably kicking back, lounging poolside, big old Piña Colada in hand, working on his tan, I'm here working for you, because that's what I do. All right, so let's see. It's a weird 4th of July, right? Normally we'd all be out, barbecues, outdoors, hanging with friends, and then everything that's kind of clouding over our society. Now, this is not the platform that you don't want to hear political stuff from me. Let's just say, feeling a little mixed about celebrating the U.S. This 4th of July. I got faith that we're gonna get things back on track and do things right once again, or for the first time, let's be honest. So, yeah, again, not gonna get into it, but just didn't feel like a normal 4th of July to me. So this cocktail, not to get too cheesy, but it's called Unity, after the Rick James song. So if Rick James can't bring us together, I mean, what can? Rick James is the man. So anyway, this is fun. Let's all be kind to each other, yeah? Just be kind, have respect for everybody, no matter what, all right? Be nice, people. Be nice. Be fair, be just. All right, let's make this drink. Let's get back to what I do best, making cocktails. Now, as you can see, I got the Vitamix out here. Thank you, James, my stepdad. This is his bad boy. We're gonna do a riff on a Piña Colada because, man, Brian and I got hooked on those things. As you can see, I'm obsessed with having things facing forward, so even the controls are facing you. So I'm gonna have to, don't worry about it, it'll be cool. Now, this has got a little different than a Piña Colada. There is rum, but we're only doing the float. The main spirit is going to be bourbon. Now you're gonna have to trust me that this flask contains bourbon. It does, all right? It does, I tell you. This is kind of like my infinity flask. The bourbon that's in it changes. Just keep topping it up. Let's see. I'm getting, let's see, some Heaven Hill, little Maker's Mark, little Old Granddad. Sure, something like that. Anyway, that's gonna be our main spirit. Now, for the coconut, I love Coco Lopez. I couldn't find Coco Lopez. Big tears, man, big tears. So I had to kind of make up my own. This is organic coconut cream. It's not the same thing as like the cream of coconut, that's a coconut Lopez. That's a Coco Lopez. That is sweetened. This is not sweetened. This is a much thicker, almost like paste-like. So I did, this can is 5.4 ounces. I added 1 ounce of a rich Demerara simple syrup. So that's just a simple syrup that's 2 parts sugar to 1 part water. And remember, the Demerara sugar is the unrefined sugar. So it has more that molasses taste. It's better. So anyway, I just put it into the little mason jar. Hey Roscoe, how's it going, buddy? That's Roscoe. And then just add it in here and shook it up. And so that sweetened it up a little bit, thinned it out a little, and I think this is gonna work nicely. But still, if I could get my hands on some Coco Lopez, you know I'd be using that Coco Lopez. I love that stuff. All right, now, as I talked about at Brian's, if you watch the Piña Colada episode, I love it. Roscoe, you want a drink? I like to add the liquid and then add enough ice to just kind of meet the top of the liquid. That's typically about enough ice to get the right consistency, the right slushy texture. So that's what we're gonna do. I am gonna add my liquid first, then add ice and see how it goes. This is a pretty large volume drink, so I got my big old mason jar. See how much it fills up in there. You could easily just kind of cut this into 2 glasses and share it with a friend if you have friends. I used to. Okay. Oh boy. All right. So let's start with our lime juice. I do like lime juice in my Piña Colada. I think it adds a nice little bit of acidity, nice little bite. Yes, you get some of that from the pineapple juice, but to my way of thinking, not enough. But not a huge amount, just a ½ ounce of lime juice. And yeah, put the lime in the coconut, all that stuff, right? We've heard the jokes, right? We've heard the jokes. Okay, so for the pineapple juice, again, we got fresh squeeze, fantastic. If you don't, good old can of Dole works all right too. Now I am gonna go 2 ounces with the pineapple. Brian, no offense, but this is easier than the magic bullet, I gotta say. Nice big opening, make huge volumes. Maybe it's time, Brian, to upgrade from the magic bullet to the Vitamix. Think of the Piña Colada parties you can have. Say that fast, Piña Colada parties. All right, so I'm gonna go 2 ounces of this coconut cream, homemade sweetened version. And if you're using the Coco Lopez, 2 ounces should be fine too. Seal that bad boy back up. All right, now for the bourbon, I'm going to go 2 ounces. If you have it in a bottle, that's fine too. It doesn't have to be out of a flask. Of course, with a flask, you can do this, which is always nice. Okay, now this is a slightly odd part, putting in some ginger beer. Normally I wouldn't want to shake or mix with carbonation, but in this case, it's not a huge amount, and I've done it before and it worked out all right. So let's hope it works out all right again. Adding ginger to the Piña Colada. That is courtesy of Mr. Dave Newman at Harry's Hardware. They have the Scotch Ginger Colada, which is like one of my favorite drinks of all time. I love that thing, I crave that. So I've gotten to a kick of adding ginger to my Piña Coladas, and Brian and I were playing around with making our own kind of Scotch Ginger Coladas, and it tasted pretty good, so, you know, why not? All right, now, so you can see our liquid level, now let's add ice just to cover that up. And this typically, the smaller the ice, the better, unless, you know, you got this beefy Vitamix that's gonna just destroy this ice. But if you get like one of those bags like party ice, that works pretty well, as we discovered, especially if you have a magic bullet. All right, so we're gonna give this an initial blend and see how that goes. We're gonna turn it on. That usually helps too. Brian, Piña Colada dance. This is Brian's Piña Colada dance. I don't know why. It's just what happens. Yeah, look at him. Hey, Ross. He likes me a lot. Okay, you can see. Let's check that consistency. It's a little watery. So that's why I usually start with maybe a little bit less ice, just to kind of gauge it. You can always go in and add a little bit more. Unless you want a more runny Piña Colada, then by all means. But I like that little thicker texture, and then the rum float sits on there nicely too. All right, let's give it a go. It's just not the same without Brian here. You know, I need that other dancer. I think it got weird. Oh, it's looking nice. Oh, come on, Bassomatic, come on. All right, that looks pretty darn good. So, just gonna pour right into our. Aren't we going to pour it? It's very thick. There we go. You know what? It's almost a little too thick. How long do you want to stay here and watch this? So let's do a little bit more ginger beer. Always have some more ginger notes. I'm gonna put 2 more ounces in. Give it a quick blend. See how that goes. Yeah, that's looking better. Alright. Let's see if it wants to come out this time. There we go. Try not to make too big of a mess, or do. Oh, it's tasting good. If you have a nice Sertoto copper spoon, always use that to help the Piña Colada come out. Or sorry, the Unity. Unity! See, that's a good texture, that's what you want. This is riveting, huh? Well, at least my glass choice worked out well. That seems to be the right size. That's cool. Alright. Now for the piece de resistance, is that how you say it? A little bit of the Crucian Estate Blackstrap rum. Just gonna float that right on top because it makes it better. I say 1 ounce, but you can just eyeball it. And that is it, man. That is your Unity. Cheers. Happy 4th of July. Wow. If you don't want to just shoot the rum right off the top, take a spoon and get that little mix. Kind of mix that in. Or don't. Again, whatever you like. It's your drink. Alright, again, be kind. Respect everyone. Have a great 4th. Adios.